January the 24th, and we have Karate Combat's KC52 event tonight, and I am about to go in and get my betting situated, check the karate.com website, and connect my Hashpack wallet and do my karate app picks. For those of us who are in the Cosmos, you may not be familiar with Hedera Hashgraph. If this is your first time, this is just kind of a good way to learn and follow along. So let me go ahead and just double check my streams really quick. Hope you guys are having an awesome, awesome Friday. I'm excited. Bella, Scott, and I did our first walkthrough last night. They have their new studio space kind of spun up. It's a work in progress, but they got enough of it settled then that they could use it tonight. All right, so check in to see. Okay, so it is showing that I am live here. All right, I'm going to adjust my camera just a tiny bit. All right, so I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. If you're here and listening, definitely do me a favor, hit the heart button. If you're on YouTube listening, hit the like. Make sure you share this on your socials, retweet it on X for me. And guys, make sure you tune in. You can always watch Karate Combat on YouTube if you have subscriptions like UFC TV and things like that. A lot of times you can watch it there. Karate Combat just signed a deal with CloudBet, and if I'm not mistaken, I could have swore that I saw that you can watch the fights over on CloudBet. But I would urge you definitely check us out on OmniFlix, right? So Scott has early access to OmniFlix TV streaming. OmniFlix TV has been around for a little over, I think it's been around a year now, and they've had a pretty good year of growth as far as video uploads. They're constantly upgrading the site. It looks and feels more and more on what you'd expect from a video app every single day, every single week, every single month. So definitely check it out. You know how Web3 is, right? We all want to invest in tokens. We want to throw our money at tokens. We hope that the number goes up, token go up. But how many of you actually realize what you're actually here for? Do you actually use these apps? Especially for something as simple and easy as a video streaming service, right? So yeah, you could watch it on Twitter. You could watch it on the Karate app. You could watch it on CloudBet. You could watch it on YouTube. Like you have all these options. But if you're in Web3, are you not going to support a Web3 decentralized platform? Now, granted, I'll be honest, this is going to be incentivized, right? So let me actually, while we're on that topic, let me double check over on the Discord because I'd signed up to do the incentivized watch parties. Now, I didn't have an actual list, and I think we're going to have to either use until they get the chat integrated in OmniFlix TV, like what you would see on either Twitter or YouTube. Pretty much it's hard for us to have like usernames, but let me double check because I did go in and sign up. Give me one second. I've got two messages here. I think all NFTs are minted. There's a good way of distribution NFTs. Yes, it is. If you're interested in the future, yes, we can. Let me reply real quick. Yes, we can. Got the OmniFlix team dropping me some messages. They assisted me this week with some NFT drops. All you do is watch the video and it would automatically drop you the NFT. That NFT could be burned to earn a Fight Farm in the Pit NFT. Depending on which fighter you got for the In the Pit game, it's pegged to one of the Karate Combat fighters. I am working and starting the conversations with Karate Combat on the back end to see about getting the licensing and stuff set up. They got a really good rate on the percentage you kick over to them, and they love, love, love for people to help them grow. So I think Fight Farm is going to be latching on to the Karate Combat train and putting out more than just the combat sports we've done so far. Let's see. Okay, so um, OmniFlix has committed 1,000 Flix tokens. And give me one moment. You know what? I'm actually going to switch over and share my browser so you guys can see. Okay, so let me respond to Super. So Super Era is the community manager for Flix Fanatics, which is a community DAO. And he's asking where I want the Flix sent to tonight. He's sending 1,000 Flix, guys. So real quick, let's just go check the current price of Flix. Okay. All right, CoinGecko. And let's see, Flix. Last time I checked, it was around 10 cents. It's had this fluctuation probably between 8 and 13 cents for the last couple months, you know, kind of a little sideways market after everything cooled off. And then this week with Bitcoin heating up, I'm not quite sure what the price of OmniFlix tokens are. But let's just see on CoinGecko. They're currently showing just under 10 cents. So we're sitting at the 9 cent range. And that'll be a nice little payout. So we sold around 100 NFTs. I'm sorry, we didn't sell them. If you watched the video preview we did, watching the actual video, um, if you were logged into your wallet, because you can watch OmniFlix TV, you can watch videos. You're not forced to take part in the Web3 part. It's just like YouTube. You can go in there and you can watch. You don't have to sign in. You don't have to do anything. But if you do sign in, it'll track and you can connect your wallet. Once you connect your wallet, you can get things like NFT drops, you can send tips, you can get payouts and rewards. There's interactive videos where you can answer questions and quizzes and stuff right there in the video, and they're incentivized, right? So that's the magic of Web3 combined with something like a YouTube. So if you don't know that much about OmniFlix and you have questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at FightFarmNFT. Check us out in our Telegram, Fight Farm chat, and feel free to ask questions. We love to help onboard people into OmniFlix and Cosmos in general. You need a Leap wallet or you need a Kepler wallet. I would suggest Leap, LEAP, as in Paul, wallet. You can find them over on X. Follow them and check out their links to get the actual link for the install in your browser or the mobile wallet. Once you have a Leap wallet, you can actually go and start to connect to the OmniFlix TV and earn rewards. So what we did was is as you watch the video, they have things set up where you can either watch and earn NFTs or you can tip. If you tip, you can earn an NFT. That's kind of cool too, right? Because I, I'm not sure what if there's like a if you set it for any amount or if you can set like minimum amounts. That's probably what they have is like where you could have any or a minimum or a range. Uh, but yeah, it's a cool way to distribute NFTs and reward your community. And then a lot of times those NFTs have something on the back end, some sort of use long term. So for us, they earned the live stream NFT over on OmniFlix. And what we did was is rather than sell NFTs for either fighter in the main event, we had two NFTs that were pegged to those two fighters for the uh, Karate Combat main event. One was called Hunter and one was called the Crown. Uh, so the Hunter, I'll go ahead and switch over really quick. The Hunter was pegged to Edgar Screevers, which is the former lightweight champion, the first lightweight champion in Karate Combat, and the current lightweight champion is Shazai Brind, and he has the crown. And you can see these NFTs right over here, and you can see what they did was is they could burn this proof of podcast NFT. They could burn it and mint Hunter or burn it and mint the crown. So if you watched it, you could only earn like one NFT per address. So you would have to come and burn it. You can also do verify, but in our case, we didn't want them to verify and like end up claiming both fighters. Uh, but we put a max of 50 NFTs per fighter. So right now they're sitting at 68% claimed. You can see right here it's showing 34 out of 50, and that is for Hunter, which is uh, this guy right here, Edgar Screevers. And then we have 29 out of 50 for the crown. And that is this guy right here, Rend. And this is going to be a hell of a fight, guys. So some people have got the proof of podcast NFT. They have not claimed it. Right now, Screevers is leading Rend in the odds making there. It looks like, what's that? 34 to 29. So slight favorite right now for Screevers. But nonetheless, the winner, the 50 NFTs right here that hold the winning NFT for that fighter, or in this case, it could be 30. If no more are claimed today, right, you'd have 34 and 9. So let's see. What is 1,000 flicks times 9 cents? So that's going to be $90. And we'll take that $90 and divide it by 34. So that's $2.64 per player or per NFT if the current number stands. Now let's just say if it gets to 50, if we have that $90 divided by, say, the full 50, that would be $1.80. So not bad. You watched the video, you got a free NFT. Now in the future, that's the cool thing about Fight Farm. In the future, the NFT that just earned you that winning payout, as long as that fighter is still fighting for Karate Combat, and as long as that fighter is still fighting, they have not retired, then in their future fights, you can purchase the new versions of those fighters. So we kind of incentivize you to collect new versions of every fighter. Sometimes we'll have giveaways like this. We'll have contests and you'll get one for free. A freebie is awesome, right? Because you'll get a little bit of free money. But it's not just about you winning on this potential win tonight. You could actually win on potential, you could actually earn on potential wins in the future. Effectively, the way it works is as we sell NFTs, we create a treasury. That treasury is used to stake and do DeFi and do things that generate revenue and yield. And then that yield is converted to stable coins. And then every fight, we pay out winners holding the winning fighter NFTs in stable coins. So yeah, and you can also earn our fight token as a rewards token as well. All that's going to be coming soon. I haven't really, this is kind of a test run to see, you know, how people like it. Also to give me some NFTs to show the Karate Combat people and just kind of give them an idea. The cool thing about OmniFlix that I love is it's very, very, very easy for us to integrate a address for the Karate Combat community and for the Fighters Fund that the 20% licensing fees go to. If we want to be able to use the actual fighters' images or their names or use the Karate Combat logos, you do have to do a very reasonable, might I add, a very reasonable 20%. And my understanding is 10% goes to the fighters pool of some sort and 10% goes to the community. But for us, you know how Fight Farm is, right? We want to really attract fighters, whether it's the pros on Karate Combat or whether it's the guys on the pit submissions with the grappling for the pit submission series or even the IFC. We know how these crypto influencers are, right? They love crypto. And guys, training and getting ready for a fight and doing recovery, and if you get hurt in a fight, the potential of medical costs and recovery afterwards, all that's money, right? So let's take care of the community. Let's take care of the fighters. Once I get this deal inked, one of the things that we would like to do, and I'll switch over real quick back to the collection, is not every Karate Combat fighter wants to learn crypto, and that's fine. We've seen some over on Karate Combat that have integrated themselves and they're using crypto very wisely. You've heard King Apollo talk about this. You've heard Postmaster Kyle talk about this. There are some big names over there who are starting to see what Web3 and crypto is all about, and I think they're starting to get the bug, right? Well, we want that to be a large percentage of fighters because this is a very Web3 integrated company, and they have like Hedera Hashgraph and HBAR. They have the karate token built on Hedera. They just had the awesome meme coin launch. If you want more information about that, definitely follow Postmaster Kyle. I can definitely make sure I put you in touch with him. It's one of the only meme coins that I'm stacking currently. And if you ever watch Karate Combat and you go check out President Awesome's socials, you understand why. It's going to be something. And once they start pushing that thing on the fights, and I don't know if they'll do it for this one for KC52, But my understanding is they have some plans, right? This isn't your average meme coin. So make sure you go check out Hedera, go check out the Hashpack wallet, check out Karate Combat, check out their app, get the Karate token, get the Awesome token. Let's support everyone and go out and be good participants in Web3 as a whole, right? Yes, we love Cosmos. Some of us over here are probably Cosmos and IBC maxis. Not me. I'm a Web3 maxi, right? I'm a blockchain agnostic crypto maxi. Um, yeah, there's things that I do judge cryptos on. I don't think all cryptos are created equal, but for the use case and purposes of what we're doing, not everything has to be a decentralized proof of work. Um, not everything's trying to be Bitcoin. Not everything's trying to be money. Not everything is trying to run a financial system on it. Like when I create Fight Farm, yes, you want to have some trade-offs because you need the speed, you need less friction. There's things that we can do on these blockchains, like over in Cosmos, like in Hedera, and it lets like in Solana, like on the layer twos on top of ETH. There's a lot of things that we can do, and there's trade-offs there, right? So make sure you go check it out. Don't be one of those people that you don't miss out on the karate.com experience and the karate combat experience because you are scared to go learn something new about Hedera Hashcraft. Um, their community is very accepting. They're very knowledgeable. They'll help you get started. They're friendly when you ask questions. Um, Definitely, like I said, hit up Postmaster. He'll walk you through it. He's answered plenty of questions. The awesome uh, team, which I think was probably Kyle, although that could be maybe anyone behind that screen name or that Twitter name at any time. But nonetheless, they'll answer your questions, right? So what I'm saying is like I think people get a little bit freaked out when they say, "Well, that's not a blockchain; it's a hash graph," and I've heard this and I've heard that. Guys, it effectively looks and feels just like something you would see over here in Cosmos. So go get the wallet, go check out karate.com. You're probably too late to do it now, but before next time, right? Get you some karate tokens, go to Saucer Swap, get you some H bar at your favorite centralized exchange, put that in your wallet, go over there and swap it, learn how to use their dexes. And then get you some karate and some awesome and be set, right? Be ready to make these picks because you can't lose on the karate.com game. You can't lose. When you make your picks, if you pick correctly here on these fighters, you can win more karate. If you pick incorrectly, you didn't lose any money. How cool is that, right? And yeah, we can have opinions and talks about inflation and the tokenomics, blah blah blah. I get it. Karate is not trying to be the karate. The karate token is not trying to be the money that solves the inflation problem in the world. It's not trying to be the next financial system. It's trying to grow the karate combat ecosystem, and they'll figure the tokenomics out. Don't worry about that. So, guys, go check it out. I'm about to make my picks here in a minute. So let me get back to what I was getting at here. Now, when you see these fighters, some of these fighters may not want to learn crypto, but if they do, let's just say that some of them do, right? When we come back over here and we look at the curated collections, I'm going to go to in the pit. And this is something that I just did with Postmaster and Heck on their IFC fight. And I can't wait to do this with an actual karate combat professional. So let's go to collect now. Let's see. Let me resize this. I'm getting off of the. There we go. So you can see right here, right, on these NFTs. And actually, can I take this down? Would that work? Okay. So when you see these NFTs that I made for the first test fight that I did, uh, these were pro karate combat fighters. I made NFTs that were pegged to them. You'll notice I used my own logos, but I didn't put I didn't put karate combat on there. I didn't put their real names. I didn't use their pictures. I don't love any of these art styles. Maybe this one, that might have been a decent one, but you can see it's real messy. I was having an issue with our AI, but you can see right here the fighter official label for Postmaster and the fighter official label for Heck. The reason I did that is because it's very easy when I generate the NFTs and I list them for sale. It's very easy for me to include an address to make sure that Karate Combat gets their cut directly from every sale. It's very easy for me to make sure that if I have a fighter here, um, let's say these are listed for 5 IST, which is it's a stable coin, by the way, guys. That's $5. These are not expensive NFTs, at least not the basic ones. The not the regular editions. But let's say you had like Postmaster, right? And right now he and Heck are in IFC. So in that $5, I say I give them $1 of every sale. If they sell 100 NFTs, that's an extra $100 in their pocket, right? Um, where I see this going is when you start to do these professional fighters, and some of these fighters are very popular and they become big names. I easily could see like if $5 is our base price and a fighter official $5 NFT, like if it's someone new and they haven't really built a reputation, they may not be the most popular. Well, let's imagine they get 3 or 4 wins in a year, all by fast knockout. Well, do you think their base NFT is going to stay at $5? Probably not. Let's just be real. And should it stay at $5? Not really. I mean, I've kind of done that on Fight Farm. We've had some slight inflations from $6 to $7 on some regular editions. But on Fight Farm, all of it was going either as profit or to the rewards pool and things like that. What I would like to do is make sure that as fighters become more popular, um, that whether it's the basic, a special edition, or the one of one limited edition ones, I want a certain percentage to go to the fighters, and it can't just be $1. So let's say instead of $5, we do $6 or $7, and instead of out of that $6 or $7, $2 to $3 goes to the fighter. It'd be nice to triple their income. Would you rather be give them $100 in a fight or 300? And these are base numbers, man. I'm not saying that if you can't if you get over in the Karate Combat ecosystem and that ecosystem keeps growing, you could be looking at where we could potentially sell more than 100 NFTs per fighter. We could have some serious growth on this baby, and if we do, who knows? When it gets into the thousands, um, the good thing about volume is you can kind of keep prices lower as the volume scales. There is a balance between supply and demand, meaning you want to have like a game where everyone can get in and play on the regular edition, but you don't want to over or underprice it. Pricing is a very, very, very important thing when you're running a game, especially a game where you're splitting rewards. Like if the rewards pool is only generating $100 and you're selling 100 NFTs, that means that you could only earn $1 per win, right? If it splits between all 100. That's not necessarily a good thing, right? So that probably means you're underpriced. You probably want to price them higher. That also will contribute more to the fighter. It'll contribute more to the rewards pool and the staking that earns yield, which will raise the amount of earnings you have, which can help support the growth of additional people buying the NFT. So there's a balance to it. And I've been trying to figure it out with Fight Farm on the regular combat sports MMA game. And now that I got Karate Combat, I'll get to actually see it probably live. But nonetheless, guys, I'm getting off track here. So what I was trying to get at is as we grow, we would love to pay the fighters. We want to pay the fighters directly from the NFTs. So if a fighter is in crypto or they want to learn how to get into crypto and they're willing to take the time and sit down and create an OmniFlix wallet and set up an OmniFlix address and let us show them, we will add you in for every single NFT that we sell. So every time you have a fight, you have a new NFT. So if you fight 4 times in a year, you're going to have 4 new NFTs. That's 4 potential times you have to interact with your community, to interact with your fans, and give them a collectible that can help them receive money as a profit sharing mechanism effectively, because this is kind of a stake to earn, stake to win game. You're not really betting because, yeah, you could spend money and your fighter doesn't win. I guess you could call that a loss, but not really because the collectible value could go up on the secondary market. And if you didn't win on this fight, you could win on the next fight. And on the next fight, you don't have to buy the next version. So if you bought a V1 for Hondro and Hondro fights again a second time, you don't have to buy the V2. You can just stake the V1. Now your share of the rewards pool is less because you only have one NFT versus two, right? So then if Hondro has a V3, you can buy the V3. Hondro has a fourth fight, V4. Let's say Hondro fights 5 times, and then, man, Hondro's 42 years old. He's at the end of his road, and I don't know if Hondro's 42. I think he's like in his 20s. But let's say he retires, or let's say he gets called to the UFC, right? Even if they just leave and they go somewhere else, they go to PFL, they go to One, they go to UFC. If they are not in Karate Combat for any reason, they have no way for that NFT to do the revenue share, because whether they win or lose is the random act that defines whether you get a cut of that payout. So effectively what we've done is we've given you incentives. We've given you incentives to buy an NFT and stake it to earn. We've given you an NFC to buy multiples because the more you buy multiples, the bigger cut you get. We've given you incentives because down the road, if a player comes on and you're buying the Hondro V3, V4, V5, and he retires, if they want to upgrade their NFT down the road, they need the V1 and V2. So what happens to you guys who are early? If you're buying multiples, I mean, yeah, you can buy one for $5, but why not buy 3 for 15, right? You're going to get a little bigger cut of the rewards pool if they win. And then down the road, when these other players come in later, you have the secondary market. You control. Like, you're going to have the collectibles that the other players need in order to upgrade their NFTs. Now, the way we do it in Fight Farm is once a player retires, you can upgrade their NFTs to a legend NFT. So if you want to get the Hondro legend because he's either left Karate Combat or retired from the sport altogether, you have to have one of every version and you have to burn them. And we actually burn them for you. You deposit them into the DAO. The DAO will burn them and they'll issue you the new legend. And you may say, well, why would I want a legend? Well, the legend is like a supply demand mechanism. So what's the most legends? If every NFT is required and you had to have one of each to burn, I hope this makes sense, but visualize this. If every NFT is required and you need every version, what's the maximum number of legends that you can actually mint? And if you think about it, let's say version 1 sold 10, and version 2 sold 10, and version 3 sold 20, and version 4 sold 25, and version 5 sold 30. The most you could ever mint of legends is 10, because that's the maximum, that's the minimum amount that was minted for V1 and V2. And even then, you're probably not going to see 10, because as you burn a V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, as you burn those 5 NFTs, that reduces the supply of each version by 1 digit. So now V1 and V2 no longer have 10. They both have 9 left. So what does that do? It should increase the value on the secondary market, technically, if you reduce that supply. And if it doesn't reduce it going from 10 to 9, by the time it goes to 10 to 3, and there's only 3 of V1s left, 3 V2s left, it's probably going to be pretty expensive. Those players are going to have to decide, if they have all the versions, do they burn or do they sell? It might be profitable just to flip it on the secondary, right? So that's the game. People think this is a betting game. This isn't a betting game. This is a stake to earn, stake to win, strategy. It's a strategy game, effectively. And once you get the legend, that's where, like, you're getting an NFT that is a lot more rare. You're reducing the supply of the initial versions of that fighter, which increases the value and makes them more rare. It's like you expand the supply as that fighter is growing in order to expand the game and get more consumers and grow the pot and all this stuff. Like, you're expanding the supply. But once that fighter can no longer fight, and it renders that NFT effectively null and void, meaning it can't earn from the rewards pool anymore, you have to decrease the supply to increase the value. You have to increase the scarcity. So this is a supply and demand game. And what we do is over time, you will mint these NFTs. Once you get all the versions, you can burn them for legends. And then later on, let's say Hondro retires, but Postmaster and Heck are now both professionals in karate combat. They've been there for 2 years. They've got racked up some wins. They got called up from IFC to the main roster, and they're having their rematch, right? Well, anyone that owns Postmaster and Heck NFTs can stake their NFTs, and they can win from the rewards pool based on who wins that fight, Postmaster or Heck. So let's say the prize pool is $1,000, and let's say there is 100 NFTs for Heck and 100 NFTs for Postmaster. So that's roughly $10 per NFT. Well, Hondro, the people who have the Hondro legends, they can compete for a slot, and that slot, whoever wins that slot, out of all the legends, and the more legends there are, the more and the more matches you have legends gameplay in. There's a lot more to this, but for this match, let's just think about it like this: you have some legends that are competing. One legend gets to challenge for the Postmaster Heck fight. So let's say you had 20 legends competing, and at the end of that competition, one Hondro legend comes in. Now they have to choose. Remember, they're not staking. Well, they could be. They could even be staking a Postmaster and Heck. Nothing says that they also can't have NFTs staked. But effectively, what they're doing with their legend is they're depositing it into the DAO. They're putting that legend and their legacy at risk, effectively, and they're choosing the winner. They're predicting who's going to win, Postmaster or Heck. If they choose correctly, that $1,000 pot, they walk away with $500. They steal 50% of the pot. Now, that's still a good thing because the person with the legend who had all these NFTs, they played the game, they collected, they spent some money, they earned some money, they burned the NFTs. Their legend is now a way to come in and steal pots from other players. Those other players have their NFTs staked. They bought the NFTs, they staked them. They know the pot there's $1,000. They're expecting to split that 100 NFTs, $10 each. So now all of a sudden, Hondro comes in, he walks through the door, and he chose Heck. Heck beats Postmaster in the rematch, and all of a sudden, Hondro walks away with $500, and uh, all the Heck players split 500. Now here's the kicker: what if Postmaster wins? So Hondro bet on Heck. If Heck wins, he steals 50%, and 50% goes to those winning stakers. They'll get $5 each instead of 100 or $10 each, right? If Postmaster wins, all the people, the 100 people staking the Postmaster NFT, they get to decide the fate of the Legend NFT for Hondro. Remember, he deposited it to the treasury of the DAO. In other words, he's depositing it in the game. It's collateral. They can't screw you over because they can't play and still have the pot if they don't put their NFT up as collateral effectively. Once that NFT is set as collateral, if Postmaster were to win, those players get invited and they vote on three options. You can either burn and destroy the Hondro legend, which reduces the supply of legends, reduces the supply of the collection overall, and we'll pay you out in a bribe with our own token, the fight token. Or you can vote to award it to a single player. So out of those 100 players, maybe out of the 100, only 80 were staked. So only 80 were eligible because 20 people didn't stake their NFTs, so they're not eligible. And then out of the 80, they weren't paying attention that Postmaster won. So only 60 come and vote. They can actually vote to reward it to a single player. So you have a 1 in 60 chance of taking that Hondro legend just for coming and voting to steal it. And it's a random process, right? The last option is you can vote to award it as a DAO. And this gets into where we're going to turn this game from a single player game, a strategy game from one person, into a DAO versus DAO versus DAO versus DAO, like a team based game. So people will create alliances and they'll collect NFTs and they'll stake them and they'll be all, betting certain ways and hedging and doing all these things so they can guarantee they have the voting power to steal legends. Why? Because once the DAO owns a legend, now it's not a single player walking in and stealing $500. It's your team. It's your DAO. Your DAO is coming in. So how do you think that affects people? Like, say if you had 100 NFTs for Postmaster and 80 were staked, but only 60 came and voted. Out of those 60, maybe 3 DAO addresses were given. So the way you vote for the DAO option is when you vote for the DAO, and you have to input the DAO that you're voting for's treasury address. Well, you might have 30 of the 60 vote for one DAO, 27 of the 60 vote for the other DAO, and 10 of 60 vote for the third DAO. The only people that get to split the DAO option are those people that voted for it. This also goes like in line with the way the bribe works for burning or with the awarding to the single player. If you voted to burn the NFT and accept the fight bribe, or for the DAO option, and award a solo player wins, you're not in the running to win that. If you voted for the DAO option and the bribe, burning and bribe wins, or you voted for the single player to take the control, and the bribe and the DAO and the burn wins, then you're not going to be one of the players that gets the bribe of the fight. So in other words, it becomes a political game, a political strategy game where you have to vote in line with the winning outcome to receive the rewards. So I think that's going to be a really, really fun thing as it grows. I'm excited to do it on Karate Combat. Of course, we've always done it for UFC. I tried doing it for some grappling matches. MMA, it's worked well. Um, but it's one of those things where I think getting behind an event that is a Web3 based, Web3's first sport with Karate Combat, and actually pushing it out to their audience, if we can get some traction and we get some players, and especially if we go in there and we get the actual licensing, so it makes us look and feel more legit. Um, you see the actual names on there. That doesn't mean we can't include nicknames if they have a nickname. We'll put their nickname on there as well. And for those that don't, these are like the generic base layer crap looking NFT layouts. Like I didn't put as much time into them, but if you go look at some of the really badass artwork that we've got over uh, for the Fight Farm main event collection, you'll see it. We've partnered with artists. We've had some really, really, really cool collaborations with specific artists, with other NFT collections, with other NFT artists, with different companies and products. Um, we really, really love the idea of uh, putting a lot of people in the collection, because yeah, we need to earn money. We need to get paid. But part of the fun thing about NFTs is like the collaborations, right? Like there's people over in Hedera that I would love to collaborate with, and if I can get them to work with us on Fight Farm, then not only when we sell NFTs will we get paid and the fighters get paid, and a portion of that go to Karate Combat, a portion of that gets kicked back over to them too, over in Hedera on these different apps, right? So in other words, what I'm saying is you could have like a saucer swap sponsored NFT, and you could have some cool like alien artwork in the background and the fighter overlaid on it. There's so many things we can do from like a sponsorship where it generates money and advertisements for these Web3 apps that we all, love and hold dear to our hearts. And in many cases, we use them every day. So, guys, that's my pitch and my walkthrough on Karate Combat in the pit. Well, I'll say Fight Farm in the pit, but pretty soon, if I can get this paperwork sent over and get everything, all my I's dotted, my T's crossed, and get that ready. Dude, I'm telling you, with a live audience who's Web3 centric, and they're already kind of playing the karate game, and they're doing like probably some betting on Cloud Bet. They probably have the Hashnails NFTs for the official Karate Combat NFTs, which are extraordinary NFTs by themselves. Um, yeah, man, it's an exciting ecosystem, and I'm happy to be part of it. And speaking of being part of it, for those that don't know, we will be live tonight on OmniFlix TV. You can go on over and you can check out on OmniFlix TV. Scroll down to live streams. You can see Scott has a live stream going right now. Or actually, no, he ended it. There's just some music playing this afternoon, but you can see he has that already says upcoming. Uh, has our information here, and This is for Karate Combat KC52. You can watch it, like I said, for free on YouTube. You can watch it on Twitter, X. You can catch it over, I think, on Cloud Betting. But dude, come see it with us, because not only did OmniFlix give us the option to come over and give me one moment. I need to deposit. I need to give someone an address really quick because they asked me where to send the Flix tokens to, and I almost forgot. Hi, and send here, please. Thanks. Super. And post my address. So he's given us 1,000, but OmniFlix team donated 5,000. So we've got 5,000 flicks to go away. I also need to come over and check on the Karate Combat. I did apply to do the watch party. So it looks like we have a POG watch party. And of course, you got ours over here on OmniFlix TV. And it looks like Noah CL. Actually, that was the KC51 right there. So yeah, it looks like that we might be the only two. POG and ours. I thought there was one more posted for us. But nonetheless, my understanding, there's a process you do here. If you're hosting a watch party, whether it's in person or online, you could be hosting it in your Discord. You could be hosting it on your YouTube. However you're hosting it, if you track and get some names and some minimum required information and you submit it, make sure you come over here and check that out. Just join the Karate Discord, go through the normal stuff. You'll see a section here that says watch parties, and you would be talking with a guy that is kind of like their community manager, and his name is Fubar. And Fubar can send you and walk you through it. He helped me with some of the setup on what I needed to do in the Discord and some of the requirements. And they give you about $250 worth of karate tokens. So make sure you check that out if you want to have this. Now, for us, we didn't necessarily have um, like a watch list, and because the chat is not enabled on OmniFlix TV yet, I'm not sure how we're going to do that. So I'm hoping that we get our $250 of fight tokens. I would love to be able to do fight giveaways. I'm going to try to get some awesome tokens in the future, maybe, and see if I can do some giveaways on the awesome token, possibly. That would be cool. I did invite Postmaster to come on and chat with us sometime and check out what we're doing over here in the Cosmos, because that's our goal, man. Our biggest goal is we are trying to spread Karate Combat throughout the Cosmos and throughout Web3. They're doing a great job doing it over on Hedera, on Hashgraph, and with what they're doing so far, that's awesome. But OmniFlix and Karate Combat are mutually beneficial, because Karate Combat needs to be put out into more of places to live stream, which is probably one reason why they're incentivizing these watch parties, right? Um, but what better place to stream a Web3 based sport than a Web3 based streaming platform? So OmniFlix is in the opposite position, where they need users, they need content, because they are going to drop their advertising, the ability for you to run advertising and earn and monetize your channels, as well as paywalls, all the things that you've seen in traditional Web2 video platforms. They're going to have that, plus much more. So definitely check them out. Check us out over on OmniFlix. Scott, Bell, and myself. Once we kind of get the rhythm down and get an understanding of how their feed works and all the different nuances, the more comfortable we get, we can make this a true community interactive experience. We can start to kind of understand the timing. Sometimes Karate Combat, even though it's very fast paced and they run through these fights very quickly, a lot of times it can be chaotic in between fights. And the time, it's like UFC has been around for so long, and some of these MMA organizations have been around for so long, like they have it down to a science. Karate Combat's still trying to find their groove. They are improving with every single stream, with every single outing, and for us now, we have to get in there and figure out how does that relate to us when we're doing because we could have just did a watch party and had their voices playing in the background, and in the middle of the fight we could shut up or talk less. But no, we wanted to call the fight. We wanted to integrate Cosmos and kind of like pump some crypto from our neck of the woods over here, do a little bit of promotions, uh, talk a little bit of crypto, whatever we want to do, right? And we thought also it'd be fun to call the fights because, um, we love fighting. Scott used to be a boxer. I train at an MMA gym. I'm not an MMA fighter, but I do a lot of jiu-jitsu, grappling, had a little bit of striking, and it's just one of those things where I've called UFC fights before. I've never called a pure stand-up fight, so that's going to be a little bit more challenging. I probably would excel more tonight at the pit submission series because my understanding of grappling, and I'm sure that that's probably where I would stand out as part of the team tonight. But yeah, nonetheless, even if we're not the most technical or sophisticated, because they have a hell of an announce team. You can't go wrong with Boss Rutan and GSP and these guys, right? But even if they have a sophisticated, if we're not the most sophisticated announce team, we will be very entertaining. We'll make it fun for you, and we'll do a lot of giveaways and make it as interactive as we can. With that being said, let's go over here and check out and look at the picks. So, for those that don't know, you can use the Hashpack wallet, and the Hashpack wallet is one option. They have other options. Whenever you log in, you might only have one wallet, you might have multiples. I believe you need to create the ECSDA version in order to work uh, on the app. I have a regular version and also have a Ledger version for like my long-term storage. Um, but for now, make sure you use the ECSDA option when you set up your wallet and you create your seed phrase. I believe it's mandatory for this. I could be wrong, but it just seems like that's the reason why. Because the ECSDA was the last one that I set up. So once you log in, diggy. So I've got 100,000. 337, about $50 worth of karate. Not a lot, but enough in this wallet that I'm going to play. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click over here and I'm going to connect my wallet. Go down to Hashpack. You can see, select my ECSDA, approve. All right. So uh, when I bet money, I put it on Rend, right? This dude is on, he's on a knockout streak. This guy is tough. He's the current champ. He's 6-0. He's fighting Edgar Screevers, former champ. But dude, Edgar Screevers is a tough dude. Now, on Cloudbet, I think I put like $10 or $15, not a lot, on Rend, and it had a decent payout. But he was such a favorite that it wasn't a great payout. I think over here, and you can see right now, voting closes in 5 hours, guys. So the bad thing is, I think you had to have your balance in the wallet by like Wednesday or Thursday when the voting started. You can't send it in last minute. I think Kyle Postmaster said that might be something they're working on changing in the future because this kind of hinders new players from having this exciting moment. They realize you can do this right before the fight, and then boom, you can't do it. And then by the next month, you may not even get them to watch the fights next month. Whereas if you give them this experience right now and they win some money, some karate tokens on picking fighters, that might be the one thing that keeps them coming back, right? So for now, though, I think I'm going to put some on Screevers because this guy can still win it. He is still tough. He might be old school. He might be 6-3, but many people think that he won his last fight. I've heard many people say that he won that last fight. In my opinion, I think he won the last fight. But how much do I want to put? Huh. So it was suggesting six. I think I'm gonna go 10K. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get gangster with it. I'm gonna do 15K. Actually, no, it's too much. I'm gonna do 26. 13. All right, I'm gonna do 20. All right. Don't fail me, Edgar. Do not fail me. All right, so same thing here. You got Aline, Alex Pereira's sister. She won her first fight, and now she's coming in. She's fighting Amanda Torres. Uh, I think Torres was like 9-8. I heard someone say. I was watching the King Apollo and another guy earlier for the KC 52 pre-party, and they're kind of going over some of these fighters and fights. And a lot of times I will pick the underdog because that's a better way to make money. I just picked Talbot to lose in the UFC. He was on an undefeated streak, and he was fighting a guy, and he was like a 1,400. I forget to something, but in other words, you could bet like $10 and win 80, so you got 90 back total. And I just had a feeling Talbot was going to win. He was taking pictures with Tony Hawk on a skateboarding ramp this week leading into that fight, and I was like, I'm not sure how serious he's taking this dude, and this dude's tough. And that dude just put it on in that whole fight, and that was a good call on the underdog. But on this one, I don't know much about Amanda Torres. This is a last minute fight, so it's not like she's had a whole camp to prepare for Aline. And I'm just not sure if I want to put a lot of money on someone that is underdog. Like I knew a lot about the pick when I picked the underdog for Talbot to lose over in the UFC on this last card. Um, I knew a lot about Marab. So when people were having Umar as the favorite on the co-main event of the last UFC, and I put money on Marab, it's because I know Marab, right? If I'm picking the underdogs, it's because I have an understanding. I'm not just guessing. With Amanda Torres, it's a total guess. I'm gonna have to go with the favorite on this one. Uh, in fact, it's enough of a favorite that I'm gonna have to go heavy because I think this is gonna be that one fight that could make me a lot of money. Now, this could be a question mark, but this dude was pretty dominant. He was a dominant striker in UFC. Came over, won his first fight in 4 seconds. I don't know. We haven't seen him go. I haven't seen him go long. Of course, UFC is a different pacing. The grappling changes everything, but you can still clinch, right? And heavyweights, like we don't. I don't know about this guy. I would hope or think if especially with them trying to build him as a star, and he could be a megastar for the super heavyweight. Um, so let's put some money on him, but I'm not going to overdo it because I haven't seen enough of him in karate combat yet. 4 seconds doesn't show me what his style's like. I don't know a lot about his opponent. So I'm going to keep this one at 13. Actually, no, I'm going to go back down. I'm just going to keep it at 6 and keep it on Rebellis. Uh, so it says this one's a catch weight. Now, I don't think I researched this fight as much. Yeah. What is the okay? So the minimum is 60 at 6 on each on any given fight. Man, oh man, oh man. See, this is a tough one. I and I should go research these. In fact, I was doing some research. Let me look this up real quick. So, what did I have for Ilyas Kamzin? That's the thing is I don't remember this fight when I was doing my research. Diggy. There's Tim Ha. Okay, so I think there's Manuel. What the fuck? Do they add more fights between the time I did my research paper and now? No, there it is. No, there's not. Here it is. So Martins is a seasoned Brazilian fighter who competed in UFC from 2013 and 2016. Had 7 bouts across 3 weight classes. He secured 3 finishes and 2 performance bonuses. Now you're looking at 2013 and 2016, man. That's a long time ago, bro. Comes and hails from Russia. Holds professional record 13 wins and 4 losses. Not a bad record there. 6'3", comes in. So Martin's utilized experience and versatility that comes in reach advantage, and effective footwork comes in blah 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 blah. You know what? I'm gonna go Ilias. That just seems like the better pick for me. So I was kind of looking at that. Now this is gonna be a fun fight right here because you have a guy that's 4-0, and you can see he's the clear favorite right now. And yeah, he has the pit experience. He's been in the karate combat, but man, you're talking about Tyson Nam that's come over from the UFC, has a lot of experience. This is one where while I think Loxby should win on paper, he should win, and I get why he's such a heavy favorite. I'm going to throw just a little bit at Nam because I think that could be a potential upset. Speaking of upsets, I also think that Elad here is going to do an upset. I'm not going to throw the bank on it, but I'm going to put him in here. So people are picking Santiago. I tend to agree with that on this one. This one I did not research or watch as much on. Now, this is one that I'm excited about right here. This beef between Melendez and Manuel has been one of the most exciting, funny things to watch build up in karate combat since I've been watching. Um, man, it is hard to bet against Luis Melendez when he's 3-0, right? But and I haven't seen anything from from Donovan Manuel, but there's some beef here, right? He got choked out, and he does not take kindly to Luis Melendez parading around wearing that shirt. I would say that Manuel has motivation to win the fight. I don't know if he has the skill set, but I'm willing to put him as an underdog possibility because that's such a low 16% that thinks he can pull it off. Then I'm going to bump it up a little bit. All right, I'm going to bump it up a little bit. Tim Ha, I'm going to say Tim Ha with his boxing. Close one here, right? Because bantamweight, Harry Gomez. I think I heard people talking about him. He fights out of Goat Shed. Um, but man, I think I'm gonna go with the underdog. Okay, never mind. I've exceeded my limit. These motherfuckers. Oh no! What? Oh no! So let me go back here. Yeah, let me go back. Yeah, and lower that one. Now this is going to keep me out of being able to bet on the uh, Castaneda Valdez. I wish I had a little bit more, but I don't want to take that much money off of a lean because if I'm right, you need to have and it's that thing, you need to have a large amount set. Uh, and I would have loved to pick some of these guys on the pit submissions, but yeah, so that's the bad thing. Like right now is the moment where I'm like, dude, you have me with buy pressure. You have me with buy pressure. I would so go buy karate tokens right now and throw them in this fight. I would fill out the rest of my roster. You would have had me, but because you don't allow that, and I get why they don't allow it. It's kind of like, I don't know, man. Part of me feels like that would help with the buy pressure. You would see a spike in buy pressure every month on that week leading into the fight. So yeah, I don't know if that's been a discussion over there with those guys. For now, though, that's my picks, guys. So let me just recap. So I'm going for the upset with Edgar Screevers. I'm going for Aline Perez. I'm going for Robelis to pull off another win. I picked Ilyas Kamzin. I got the upset over here with Tyson Nam. I call it another upset with a slight upset. People love Brandon Jenkins, and he is entertaining, but I believe he lost his last fight, right? And I'm sure he's working. But I picked a lot to pull the upset there, and I went with the favorite on the Santiago fight. And I could be wrong because Efrain Escudero is a tough dude, right? Um, Anvar. And I'm trying to see, is there anyone I'd want to pull off and change? But I don't think there is. That's the ones I think. So for now, guys, that's my recap. Let me see what this explanation point is. All right, available for voting. All right, wish me luck, bro. So here I go. Now, one last thing. One thing that's super duper cool with this is you can delegate people to vote for you. So if you know nothing about fighting, but you have a big stack of karate, and you want someone that you think does a good job of doing the picks to do the picks for you, and you get the wins off that, and I take a slight cut, feel free to hit me up, and I'll probably have some advertising built in for this on future streams once I figure out exactly what you need to know. But I'm pretty sure you just need my wallet address on Hedera. And you can delegate and pick me, and then I will take a small cut. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I forget the percentage. I will have more information on that next time. But that's a cool thing you can do. You can let other people win money for you. And the good thing is they can't lose your money. So if you're lazy, I'm going to confirm my vote here. I'm going to approve. Thanks for casting your vote. The winner amount will be announced after we close the voting. Got it. And guys, that is how you play Karate Combat. Now, you can do it on the Karate Combat app. You don't have to do it on the laptop like an old 46-year-old hoagie like me. Someone who like is sitting on a laptop and well, fuck you. Yeah, my MacBook is where I'm filming this shit. So, now the real reason why I didn't do the phone, and I set up the app and I was starting to do it, and one of the things they did that I didn't like was they ask you to do, when you go and you install the app and you're going to set it up, they ask you to do uh, your retina scan, and it doesn't matter whether you're loading a previous uh, whether you're loading a previous wallet or setting up a new wallet, they want you to do it. And guys, I'll be honest, I don't have that shit turned on my phone. I'm not stupid. I get that they're doing it and watching you everywhere. I'm sure they've got my data already, but that doesn't mean I have to use it. And it's not that it's that big of a deal, because if people want to use it, I'm glad it's an option. What I don't like is that it's a forced option. And I feel like they're doing that because if Karate Combat attracts a lot of like non-Web3, non-crypto people, um, it's an easy, safe way for them to secure their wallet. Other than that, I don't know why they did it, but I don't like being forced into doing something on my phone that I don't want to do. So I'm glad they have the option on the web app, because I want to play the game. I just don't want to give up my eyeballs to do it. So you can click here, see your fighters. Boom, 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 boom. Now the question is, okay, I think once you select them, that's it. I don't think you can go back and change them. So guys, voting closes in 2 hours and 40 minutes. So it's almost 3 p.m. So we're about 3 hours away. I believe Scott and then we'll launch the stream probably around 5:30 Eastern time, 4:30 Central, since Scott's in Central. Make sure you go over and you check out right here and go to live streams, and you'll see that it starts in 2 hours and 40 minutes, right? So far, they've received 2,260 Flix tokens, 1.10 Wygata, and 110 Santa tokens. Ho, ho, ho. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, we may have, we may have just discovered some alpha. Here, let me share my screen. So remember how I was saying a few minutes ago that, well, I don't know what we're going to do about the chat, and they need to integrate chat and blah, 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 blah. I don't know how we're going to like track that. So one of the biggest complaints about OmniFlix videos was you couldn't comment on the videos. And then of course they got the live streaming up in time for us to do this Karate Combat. and Scott was the first one kind of pressure testing it and doing some live streams and working with the Flix team. And here we are. And I was just going over there to check it out. And if you look here to the right pane, beside live stream starts in 2 hours and 38 minutes, if you look to the right here, it says live chat and update nickname and enter message. So let me update nickname and put Fight Farm NFT. I'm not sure where that's saving that. And then let me do tests. I'm going to put, wow, we have live chat already. There you go. Fight Farming NFT. Dude, we have chatting on OmniFlix live streaming. Now, the question is how do they integrate that? So, guys, make sure you follow OmniFlix TV on X. Make sure you follow OmniFlix Network on on X. And check out the marketplace. You can come over here and if, you can check out my In the Pit. You can also go to curated collections and type in main event, and you can see our UFC collection. And we got some really cool NFTs over here for UFC. We have some Spice editions with the Spice meme coin. Spice is the first meme coin on the Akash network. If you don't know what Akash is, if you don't know what DPIN, decentralized physical infrastructure, if you don't understand cloud computing and AI and AI agents and why this is important and why it's one of the best narratives and investments in crypto in 2025, then get over here and get you a Fight Farm NFT. We have the Cook versus Hard Knocks, which is going to be DDP facing off against Sean, and that will be for UFC 3. Is that 313? No, that's 312. So I think it's on February the 8th, and that's UFC 312. And let's go right over. So you have DDP Duplessis versus Sean Strickland. Let's see, did we do any other fights on this one? I don't think I did. So for this event, the only fight I did was that fight. Because honestly, I needed a break. I've been doing a lot of additional fights on UFC lately, and I really want to get the karate combat stuff spun up. So, you may not see 2, 3, 4 fights between the DGNFT stuff and that for now. Well, what you will see is we'll still have MMA fights, and we'll still do karate combat. And it's only good for us on the main event in UFC MMA game if karate combat becomes successful. Like, it doesn't hurt it. So don't feel like just because I'm doing karate combat and UFC, like I'm neglecting UFC or I'm going to abandon it. I'm not. Like, dude, I love MMA. I'm a grappler. I'm no fucking stand-up fighter. I take all these karate combat dudes down. I'll take the IFC guys down. I'll take all these motherfuckers down and choke them because I'm a grappler. I love MMA, but I also love striking. And guess what? I suck at striking. So I will never abandon my first love, which is MMA. But I'm super duper fucking pumped about karate combat. And dude, I can't wait for this fight. I was a huge, huge, huge fan of Sean Strickland. Now, Sean Strickland is a striker. He is a boxer. He is not necessarily the most exciting boxer, but he is very technical. I would say that DDP is probably more talented all around, but there's just something about DDP's personality that, dude, he irks me. Like, I'm not the kind of guy that wants to punch a lot of people in the face, but DDP makes me want to punch him in the face. He's got a natural heel persona, and I don't know what it is. I remember when he fought Adesanya, dude. I'm like, I don't know who I hate more. Do I hate Adesanya or DDP? But that, nonetheless, all these guys are talented fighters. But the current edition is the Spice edition, and not only would you win IST stablecoin payouts based on the outcome of the fight, you also have a spice jackpot for either fighter. So even the loser fighter has potential to win a jackpot of spice meme coins. And if you guys want to see the collection, oh, you know what? I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek. So we have 7 viewers right now. It looks like on Twitter. Let me go over here and verify that. Let me make sure. Actually, let me check my messages. All right, nothing major. Chicka, 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 chicka. Let me get over here. So here's the stream, and it's showing like 14 views total, which it's like the afternoon on a whatever day. I don't even know what the day. Today's a Friday. I didn't work today, so it feels like a whatever day to me. But on my Streamlabs, I'm showing 7 viewers. If I get 3 likes, I'll show you the Dustin Poirier pegged NFTs. For those that don't know, dude, Dustin Poirier is about done with the UFC. He's probably done. And if you've been lucky enough, Dustin Poirier was one of the first NFTs that we ever created on Fight Farm. And let me go over here to not listed. I'm going to type in the Jewel. The Jewel is our NFT that's pegged to Dustin Poirier. And man, we've had some cool ones, right? So you see here we have the Jewel V3. There's the Anarchy one where we had an actual like diamond or jewel like in the actual artwork. That's a 0.5. The V0s you cannot burn towards a legend. You can't do it. They're not accepted. This is meant to preserve the artwork. All the Anarchy versions were V0.5s. So they get additional voting power when you're voting in Legends voting to steal Legends, but you can't burn them for a Legend. Now, these versions here, like this V3, there's so many of them, right? You can burn some of those, and if you got one of each version, you can do that. So I lost my the Jewel. Let me pull this back up again. So as we scroll through here, and guys, I'm a huge Dustin Poirier fan. That's why I'm bringing this up. So we had the V3 for Dustin for the Jewel. And you can see the second one here that had the painting in the background from my friend Shaq. Then you see the 90s blackout 3D version. This was a fun one. Now, this one you can burn. It was a one-of-one special edition. I was toying with this whole like 90s backgrounds. And I don't think that this one would get burned because it's the only one that exists. And if you're like a 90s flavor kind of person, then you don't want to get rid of that. And then once you get down here to the V1s, when Poirier fought Gaethje, that may have been the first. It was either the first or second fight that we ever did for Fight Farm on OmniFlix. Now there were some early days of like creating some Fight Farm NFTs. A test run on Tezos, like I don't know, years and years ago. Only like less than 5 or 10 NFTs got minted just to test how you mint NFTs. Like, but we ended up not going with Tezos. But once we came over to Cosmos, we started on Juno in DAOs. Like in DAO, you could mint NFTs inside the DAO. But the bad thing with that is like you can only really sell the NFTs in DAOs. The minting process and how it worked made it hard to get listed on exchanges. We tried and failed miserably trying to get onto exchanges. The way the contracts are set up. Now that's probably changed over time, but it's much easier to create your NFT on an NFT marketplace and mint it there, and then go and use that collection address on the DAO. That's the way you do it. Minting in the DAO should be like if you're minting NFTs for something as a giveaway, it shouldn't be, or if you're selling something to raise money, and it's like minting NFTs in the DAO, like for DAO specifically, it was more to reward your community. It was never meant to create like collections that you would end up going to a marketplace. Now, we have seen DAO change a little bit, and I'm sure the contracts have changed, and you can now mint and do that. But early on, that's how we tested this whole game and created the rule set and figured out what to do. But I'm certain if I go back and look that and Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier were our first fight. I can't remember. There may have been one, or there may have been two fights on one card, and that's why I'm starting to feel this way. But look, how many do you count here? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Now that's not listed. So if I go over here to collect now and I type in the jewel, and what did we say? That was eight total. There's probably one or two listed. Ooh, there's not. There's not a V1. There's not a V1 listed. Let me go back to not listed. That's all there is. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. So what does that mean? It doesn't matter how many V2s you mint, how many V3s you mint, and on this new version, how many V4s you mint, because the most legends that you'll be able to mint of the jewel pegged to Dustin Poirier is eight. And guess what? As these get burnt off, this one gets burned, that one gets burned, that one gets burned, that one gets burned. The price of these on secondary is likely to skyrocket. And that's the name of the game. This is more than just about the fights. This is about a secondary market game surrounded by controlling the secondary market and prices, as well as the legend NFTs. So let me check and see. Did I get any likes from the listeners? I'm showing I have 7 viewers. Now, I don't know if that 7 viewers is only on Twitter or if that's the multi stream count where we're also over on. Let me click over because it could be over on YouTube, but I don't think so. What I was going to say is if I can get, I don't see any likes on this, right? That's probably the reason why um, I've only got 18 total views, and I have no likes, no retweets. What I was going to say is if you give me some likes and some retweets, I'll show you the one of one and the regular edition of the upcoming the Jewel V4. I think they said Dustin Poirier's last fight is either in March or April, and I've heard different rumors on who he's fighting. Um, Nonetheless, he indicated after that last fight, because that last fight we thought he might be retiring, but he indicated on this one that this should be his last one. So if you're a huge Dustin Poirier fan, please check out this upcoming drop. And I'm trying to give you guys a sneak peek of those NFTs. Like I have it. I have it on a tab I can pull up immediately, and I just created these NFTs, and I worked with an artist to get the background art. And I'm telling you, the one of one is going to be killer. Um, I think the highest dollar amount we've sold a one of one fight farm NFT for is like 85 bucks, which, in the world of NFTs, that's nothing. But for me, a guy who sells most of NFTs for between 5 to 15 to 20 bucks, you know, though to me, those 80s, 85s, 90s, 70s, 60s, and I've had a couple of them, those are wins for me because that just tells me that if you can scale this up, those numbers on a regular or even higher could be become normal, especially if you grow the brand and there's demand for it both as a collector and as a player and to burn to mint legends. Like there's a multi-tier demand system built there so that when everyone goes away in a bear market and you're wondering why all your favorite NFTs are going to shit and they hold zero value because they're purely speculative and everything that they say is utility is pegged to something to do with the crypto market specifically. Dude, those utilities don't fucking matter if there are no users left in crypto. The one thing that's going to retain players and retain people and keep them in your actual crypto project or NFT project in a bear market is you need to be tied to something that is entertainment or sports based. Um, and yes, there could be certain utilities, but man, I'm telling you, we see this time and time again. I mean, the bear market gives us a beating all across the board, but NFTs got destroyed last cycle. The bear market was rough. And guess what? Some of those NFTs never came back. And while NFTs have picked up quite a bit lately, um, I don't feel like NFTs are now what they were back then, even though they technically should be. You can do more with NFTs now than you could back then. But the speculation is less because one, the liquidity over on the market is less, but two, people are a little bit more fearful of it, and I think people consider a lot of them to be money grabs. So what we try to do is create a bear-proof NFT. That's not to say that we won't be impacted by a bear market at all, because we will, but because we're tied to things like combat sports, like karate combat and um, UFC. I want to get into grappling stuff more. That's the kind of stuff where it's like, if you have 10,000 users and 2,000 leave, but you can retain 8,000 through the bear market, I'll keep 60 to 80% and be happy. It's better than being in these NFTs where like, you have 10,000, collectors and all of a sudden like everyone except for sub 1,000 leave. Like you don't want to retain 10% or less, bro. Like that's not a good look for your project. And most times you end up going bankrupt, you end up losing money, you end up spending all the money, you don't meet any of the roadmap stuff. Um, we just wanted to do something different. And that's one reason why I tried to peg my collection to something that I think is going to be in demand. Because, dude, combat sports is the one thing right now that, like, I would say it's the economic proof sport because fighting is in our bones. Fighting is in our it's in our DNA. And I really feel like as the UFC grows and we've seen all these secondary organizations grow, that when the eventual recession and or depression hits, I think fighting may be one of the only things that just doesn't get ripped to shreds. I think all sports will exist, but I could easily see like, you know, the cost of going to games for traditional sports. I could easily see that becoming like something uh, a lot less. Well, what I mean is, I could see the attendance become a lot less because the cost of going, even if you had a decline in cost, like I just don't know. You know what? I'm gonna do a little bit of research because I'm making assumptions here. I still think fighting is like an economic proof sport because fighting and gambling kind of go hand in hand, and gambling's always good in a economic recession or depression. But so is other sports. So I guess you could say that. Nonetheless, you want your NFTs to be pegged to something that can retain users in the bear market, and I think Karate Combat will do that. I think UFC will do that, and that's why we're doing what we're doing over here. A little bit of news today. We saw, um, hmm, Tony Ferguson leaves UFC for Global Fight League for GFL. Well, that's cool, I guess. I mean, I'm surprised he's not retiring yet, but I was a huge Tony Ferguson fan. He also just signed a fight. He also just signed a fight. I forget who it was. As soon as he got to this GFL, he signed a fight. Oh man! All right, guys. I'm gonna preserve some of my voice for tonight. Thank you for stopping in. We covered our karate combat picks. If you haven't done your picks yet, let me refresh. Hopefully, you had some karate tokens on the wallet address. And the voting closes in 2 hours. So if you didn't do it this time, make sure you do it next time. I'm going to send a message over here real quick to Fubar and just say, just checking on the karate tokens for our watch party live stream on OmniFlix TV. Will we be getting the karate in time for giveaways tonight? So I think we will. But I'll be honest, it's my first time applying. So fingers crossed. For some reason, if they distribute it to us after, then it would go towards the next one, right? But don't worry. Our whole goal is to give away karate tokens to our players and our watchers and our viewers on OmniFlix so that they can go and play the game over on Hedera and get involved in karate combat, right? We want to see the growth, and OmniFlix TV is going to give us a platform where we can do that. So today we covered our karate combat fights. We covered uh, the karate combat on OmniFlix tonight. We see here we got the live chat, and that's going to be awesome because for the karate tokens, when it said, hey, give us like a list of people who participated, some sort of proof for us, man, that's good because you at least want to have people in the chat. Now, to be fair, you could bot a chat, but we're going to eventually have it so they sign this sign up sheet. That's one of the things they wanted. And I'm sure right now they're probably not as strict about it because they don't have a lot of people doing the watch parties. But as that watch party thing grows, I'm sure it's going to become, excuse me, more and more and more by the book. So we covered the Karate Combat bets. We covered the Karate Combat stream, and now we have live chat. So make sure you hit us up. Come hang out with us while we have the live chat tonight. We covered the Karate Combat in the Pit game and how the Legends tokens work. I also showed you the main event game that we have for UFC, and we have the Dustin Poirier. Let me check one last time. Did we get any likes or shares on this stream? Even one. I'll take one. If I get one like or share on X, not one, man. I don't see one like. I don't see one repost, retweet. Um, I was going to share the new Dustin Poirier Diamond NFT and show you what it looks like because it's one of my favorites that I've ever created. And I can't wait to drop it. Ooh, also, guys, we discovered the chat. We talked about the NFTs. We talked about the percentage that goes to Karate Combat and trying to get the licensing done. We kind of went over a little bit on the OmniFlix token. We talked about the karate token. We talked about the awesome token. One thing I do want to show you real quick is if you look on Coinbase, I know a lot of you probably don't use Coinbase. Go to whatever centralized garbage crap exchange you use because all of them are, right? I'm not saying Coinbase is like, I mean, they even added official Trump, dude. Come on. These motherfuckers. So if you want to get started, you need HBAR, and you need the one right here, the Hedera one. I wouldn't get the wrapped one. Get Hedera on Coinbase or whatever your exchange is. Then go to the Hashpack. If I could type, go get the Hashpack wallet. And if you don't trust the link here, you can always go to their Twitter, go to their link tree, Hashpack website, hashpack.app, right? You can get the mobile or you can get that. You can check out their pack token. Pack staking got 5% APR. You can stake right in the wallet. But get the Hashpack app, right? And then take your HBAR, move it to your Hashpack app, then go to saucerswap.finance. And of course, when you get to SaucerSwap, you'll connect your wallet. Oh, come on, motherfucker. All right, Hashpack. So once you sign in, you'll select your wallet. I've been accepting or using the EC SDA. Okay, then once you have your wallet here, it's easy for you to come on over. I thought I already connected my wallet. All right, of course. Okay, there's got a hashtag wallet. There we go. Popped up, connected my wallet. All right, now you can see that there. I'm going to go to swap. So if you want to get karate, you'll use your H bar. You'll come here, you'll type in karate, and you'll get some karate. Now you might be able to switch right from H bar to awesome, but I'm not sure. The first day or two when I was buying awesome, you really couldn't do it. And if you did, I think there was like a huge impact to the price. But then once you get karate, then you can search for awesome. And once you get awesome, you'll see there kind of low volume, 21K. So it says Asim's ID, aka President Awesome. Let's bond this legend and make karate the greatest sport and meme on the hash graph. Possible karate VIP experience for the whales. So, dude, if you want a cheap way to get an awesome VIP experience, um, let's just try this real quick. I got a little bit of extra H bar right now. Let's just say if I wanted to throw 67 H bar. No, motherfucker, I said 67, which is about $22 because the price of awesome is down. That'd give me 370,000, which is really good. Slippage is only went 1%. And you'll see it pop up. I'm going to approve the transaction. And this is just so you guys can look and see that, it's not very different. Token swap, nice, fast, easy, success, done. So you just saw me go from I picked up 300,000 awesome tokens. And, I'm by no means am I well at $44, but I'm going to keep buying it, right? Because if you believe in karate combat and you really enjoy watching President Awesome, you'll understand why. And I'm not a big meme coin token person. I'm just not. But there's certain things that if it resonates with me, I'm going to support it. And man, I just have a feeling. I just have a feeling. So that was 730,000 right there, but now I've got 110. Now I've got 1 million. So I'm at 1.1 million total now, right? So let me come back over here. They have a refresh button because a lot of wallets have refresh. Let me just switch through the dApps and the stake, and you can see my cool little NFT here for my fighter, Karate Combat Champ. One of the people in Karate Combat who is actually learning crypto, taking advantage of our Web3 ecosystem, and I love the fact that he dropped his NFT and he's got special things coming for those NFTs. So now it's showing me still. I could have. Oh, here it is, the circle button up here. So let me refresh this, and now you see I got 1.1 million. I'm sitting at $66. I was going to say I knew I had more karate or more awesome tokens than that. Let me check back now. I've given you guys a few minutes. Did I get one retweet or one like? Really? Let me check on my notifications. Well, you're retweeting everything that needs to be retweeted, but you're not retweeting my thing. So, all right, guys. Next time, we'll rack these up next time. Okay, so real quick, no, they are given afterwards if all the requirements were done. There's posts and hashtags required in the live stream, and also attendance. Most either give their tokens for the first one or write them down and pay out after the event. Okay, so effectively, when we turn in our information and use certain hashtags for the event, and our attendance, and hopefully, I don't know if he's going to accept our. We really didn't have a lot of people fill out our attendance form, but what I'm going to try to do is get people as they're watching tonight to fill out the attendance form. That way, I'm able to turn that in and get karate tokens for the next event giveaway. So, okay. So it's an after the fact kind of thing. All right. So tonight, in fact, you know what? Let me just do this right now. Let me do this right now. Let me do this right now. Let me find Google Forms. All right. So here's what I need you guys to do. We want $250 of karate tokens to give away to you guys. So what I need you to do is I need you to go fill out this form. All we need is your name, your Discord handle, your Twitter X handle, a Hedera karate address, meaning you need to go create a Hedera address and put it in here. An OmniFlix address if you have one, or an Archway address if you have one. The last two are not required, but for me or Scott, like Scott has his Power Bottom meme coin that he gives away sometimes, and usually that's on Archway. I give away NFTs and the fight token that's on Flix. If you don't have those yet, no big deal. But Hedera address, go and create an Hedera address uh, on that website that I showed you. That way you can input it in here. And I'll show you something real quick. When you look for how to put your address on, right? Because you're not used to the address schemes over on Hedera. Right here where it says receive, you'll see that it has this address here with the dash WECFM. You don't need that. You only need this first part. And if you copy address to clipboard, it'll bring this up. You can do no checksum with checksum, which is the WECFM, or an EVM address. Give me any of those three. As long as you give me one of those three. Most people do no checksum, or most people probably, I've seen some people, I don't know that why people would use the EVM, but I don't know. This is so easy. Like I could probably memorize 7213855. I could memorize that and just be like, I would know my entire Hedera hash graph address, which is kind of cool. So you would copy that, you come back to the form, and you would just paste it right in. All right, guys. So make sure you do that for me. I'm going to share that form to this live stream right now. Diggy, diggy, diggy. I'm going to share it to this live stream right now. And I'm also going to go and I'm just going to create a new post right here on Twitter. And I'm going to go to my Discord and get it because most of the hashtags and things required. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So let me go back to karate and watch parties. Okay. Bring this over. Paste it. Oh, no, 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 no. Let's keep the formatting, broski. Let's come back here and snatch up the OmniFlix. Hey, somebody's in chat. Hey there. And I'm going to make sure I post that. All right. And I need to update that in our document right here. Okay, so you watch party. All right. And that's the biggest thing is like making sure that I have all this stuff here. Has the sign up sheet. And then that I'm going to share, copy link into the Discord. All right. And guys, that's about it. So it is almost 3:30. I need to go take care of some things before we get this stream kicked off. I'll probably be on definitely by 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. I might be able to join Scott and them at 5:30, but I have a task that I have to do around 4:30 to 5 o'clock. So I got to make sure I get that done before I even get started tonight. And I will be back, guys. Thank you for stopping in and watching. I'm going to give it one last check. Did anyone like or share this stream? No. We had 20 views. Currently show 7 viewers. No likes on X, no retweets on X. So I was going to show you the new Dustin Poirier pegged NFT on Fight Farm main event called the Jewel version 4, V4. Quite possibly the last, most likely the last NFT for Dustin Poirier. And he will go off into retirement. Or maybe we'll see him show up at Karate Combat. How badass would that be? But yeah, bro. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stay warm. Stay healthy. Come see us on OmniFlix TV tonight for Karate Combat KC52.